everyone, I'm Victoria and Spencer-Kibble from Therapy, and I help professionals to cope with their grief and reduce their stress and anxiety whilst improving their sleep as well. But I've had quite an interesting day today. I've had two little girls round who have a fear of animals and dogs, really, and if anyone knows me, that they know that I love being around animals. My daughter's obsessed with horses, and I have little Max, who seems to be a hypno dog. So I just thought I'd jump on here and talk a little bit about child's anxiety, because obviously being with the airline for a long time and then also teaching, I've been around children quite a lot, and they have anxiety, especially at the moment, but today it just really highlighted the learnt fears that children get. For me, certainly at the moment, children have got anxiety around the coronavirus, but it just helps you to understand, if you realise where that fear comes from, especially it's how you are around them, because all our fears are behaviours. The only two fears that we're actually born with are the fear of falling, being dropped, and the fear of loud noises. So everything else is learned behaviour. So when it comes to anxiety in our children, our own anxiety can actually affect the children we're around, and that doesn't just have to be our own as well. So there seems to be four things that I tend to do, and I do them naturally, especially around animals. So these two little girls with me today, their dad's desperate for a dog, so the girls came into the house and very apprehensive, obviously. And in my experience, an anxious child it's a learnt behaviour, normally around a parent, not always. And what we have to do is do a safe chain of resilience with them. And basically how to do this is self-care, first of all, with yourself. Actually take notice how you are around a certain fear. And today it's been about dogs, but obviously there's lots of fear at the moment out there. So just react to how you are being and see if you can actually rein that behaviour in a little bit, because you will be naturally, and it's nobody's fault, naturally the children will pick up on that behaviour as well. And they look to you all the time to kind of see how you're conveying your feelings and the way that you respond. And if you can suddenly calm yourself down, then they will naturally calm down with you as well. The next part is, I would say that it's anchoring. It's where straight away it's natural for me to be around animals and around dogs. So straight away there's an anchoring method where you can actually make them feel in the midst of that fight or flight fear, remaining calm and relaxed, and really reduce your own stress, which reduces their stress and their techniques. And you literally will facilitate your own children. What's happening inside her body is happening inside your body, and if you can slow your heartbeat down and your breathing down, she naturally will mirror what you're doing as well. So her chest will soften, and she will show some kindness to herself to not actually panic in that fear and fight and flight moment, where that fear is really being felt. And we do need to sometimes just address that fear and actually face that fear, and basically feel it till we don't feel it anymore. So the feeling needs to be felt, basically. And then when they're calmer, they're ready to tackle that fear, i.e. the dogs today, then it's showing them that that we understand that they had that feeling, that we're there, right there alongside them. I'm here to help you, I'm here to feel safe. And just give them that reassurance that they know that you're listening, that you're feeling their fear too, but you're not accepting it. if that makes sense. So today with the little girls, I literally sat on the floor with my dog, and if anyone's met my Maxie, he's the most placid dog. He's literally has cured so many people of being scared of dogs, and I understand that's a real fear for some people. And we also went down to the 5 rescue ponies that we've got at the back of us here on a delightful farm, and also went and patted the ponies down there, which one of them is actually going to be a therapony. So that was really good for the girls as well, because they got to see how they're in their natural environment, where the horses are in their field and they're quite happy to come up and be petted and stroked. And that fear initially, seeing my own daughter go up to them and approach them, and she obviously adores horses, but her fear wasn't there. So they joined in and were able to actually stroke the noses of the horses as well. And then obviously at the end of that, the last part I would do is the empowerment part, where I literally say, oh my goodness, that was marvellous what you've done. Isn't that wonderful to be able to stroke an animal like that? So just to reiterate, the 4 stages of resilience to give and instill in your children. And you can certainly use this for coronavirus as well, because I know the fear is out there, because children are hearing it. They are hearing it on the news. They're hearing it from the people around them. And if you just want to instill that resilience in them, there's the self-care. So just be aware of how you are. That's number 1. Number 2 is the anchoring, making them feel safe. Number 3 is making sure that you're feeling how they're feeling, so they know that you're here, you're there to protect them, and you're there to help them through that moment of fight or flight or freeze. And then also the empowerment, which is obviously to loosen those fears, to give them the praise, to tell them well done. And if you actually take a look on my Facebook feed today, you'll actually see the pictures that were taken by my own daughter. The 2 little girls who were actually with me today, who were adorable little feisty redheads, and they're wonderful kids. Actually sitting, one was walking the dog, actually walking our Maxie, and the other one came and sat with me in the kitchen and sat on the floor, and she could see how approachable he was. He's a very old dog now, he's 14 years old, but she could see how approachable he was, and we just went through different routines of how you approach your dog as well. So not even sometimes doing a session, just giving them the chain of that resilience is enough to help any children with any fear, or any fear that definitely leads on to anxiety as well. So I hope that's a top tip for you. So the four steps of chain of resilience for you: self-care, anchoring, feeling felt, i.e. you feel their feeling, and then the empowerment and the praise afterwards. So they're the 4 tips that you can pass on to your children or children around you to help them with the fear and anxiety that's certainly out there. It doesn't have to be to dogs or animals or anything like that. It can be to anything. And obviously at the moment we have the coronavirus going around. So if that helps you, if it helps one child or one adult, then I've done my job for today. And this Facebook Live has been worth it. So I'm Victoria and Spencer-Kibble. I'm a Vast Therapy, and I help professionals to cope with stress, with their grief, to reduce stress and anxiety, and also to whilst improving their sleep as well. And there'll be a Calendly link below that if there's anything that's really bothering you, you're struggling with, just hit my Calendly link below in the comments below, and we can just set up a free call and see if we're a good fit, because that's always a must with me, is we need to fit and we need to feel comfortable with each other. And that's always a top tip for you guys out there who want to go and see somebody to help you with whatever it is that you're struggling with. Always make sure you're a good fit with the therapist as well. And I'd be more than happy to help you with anything that you are struggling with. So again, wonderful day today. Absolutely beautiful sunshine here in the UK. So Hope everyone's keeping safe out there, and everyone's having a good time, because it's the 6 weeks holiday over here now in the UK, and enjoying this fabulous weather, because it is rather wonderful. So stay safe, and remember, inspire to achieve and achieve to inspire. Good night.